Greetings. My name is Lance Bell. Oh boy, folks. I don't need to tell you what the big news is this week. Now, as we all know, there's been another mass shooting, this time in San Bernardino, California. Now, I want to make one thing clear. As of this taping, we do not know all the details yet in regards to the motive, and to think that anyone that does know all the facts is complete and total insanity. Now, President Obama spoke about the shooting here during this week.
At this stage, we do not yet know why this terrible event occurred. We do know that the two individuals who were killed were equipped with weapons and appeared to have access to additional weaponry at their homes. But we don't know why they did it. We don't know at this point the extent of their plans. We do not know their motivations. And I just received a briefing from FBI Director Comey, as well as Attorney General Lynch, indicating the course of their investigation. At this point, this is now a FBI investigation that's been done in cooperation and consultation with local law enforcement. It is possible that this was terrorist related, but we don't know. It's also possible that this was workplace related. And until the FBI has been able to conduct what are going to be a large number of interviews, until we understand the nature of the workplace relationship between the individual and his superiors, because he worked with the organization where this terrible shooting took place, until all the social media and electronic information has been exploited, we're just not going to be able to answer those questions. But what I can assure the American people is we're going to get to the bottom of this, and that we are going to be vigilant, as we always are, in getting the facts before we issue any decisive judgments in terms of how this occurred. More broadly, as I said yesterday, we see the prevalence of these kinds of mass shootings in this country. And I think so many Americans sometimes feel as if there's nothing we can do about it. We are fortunate to have an extraordinary combination of law enforcement and intelligence and military that work every single day to keep us safe. But we can't just leave it to our professionals to deal with the problem of these kinds of horrible killings. We all have a part to play. And I do think that as the investigation moves forward, it's going to be important for all of us, including our legislatures, to see what we can do to make sure that when individuals decide that they want to do somebody harm, we're making it a little harder for them to do it. Because right now it's just too easy. We're going to have to, I think, search ourselves as a society to make sure that we can take basic steps that would make it harder, not impossible, but harder for individuals to get access to weapons.
Now, he is right. We need to know all the facts before any judgments are made. And this week's topic of the commentary. Now, it's going to be a little rough, so got to listen to me. Now, I hate to break it to you folks. Most of you are taking information from biased sources as fact. And both sides are guilty of this, and let me explain within. Now, within minutes of this happening, I saw websites playing the blame game. Conservative sites stating more guns are needed, while progressive sites stated you need more gun control. And I'm sorry, guys. In my humble opinion, you are both wrong. And I'm going to explain why. Now you probably wonder why I'm saying this. And I have an explanation why, and I will start with the more gun argument. This comes back to the simple concept of supply and demand. When you have so much supply that there's way more demand, you can get what you want, and most of the time you can get it dirt cheap, and that is a fact. Now, if you need more proof, I live here in Akron, and we have a gentleman walking around town this week strapped with apparently a TAR-21 on his back. Now, he has not harmed anyone from what I've read, and he has a permit, but people are flipping out, and that is completely understandable because you just don't see it on the streets here. Now, the flip side is what progressives are saying. More gun control. Now, I have a question. With the current going to all the types out there already, how do you suppose this is going to work? Now, I've always said register your weapon. That is just common sense. Now, however, I would like to know what guns would you want off the streets? Now, I ask this because I personally know two people that this year are in caskets due to handguns, and one of them this past Monday. Don't you dare tell me that gun control works, because I promise you those guns were hot. So don't even try to debate me on that, because you will lose. I've seen it personally. Furthermore, I'm going to play part of a video from Barbara Boxer speaking on the Senate floor earlier this week.
People deserve to feel safe in their communities. I don't understand it. They deserve to feel safe when they go to a holiday party at work. They deserve to be safe. Sitting in these galleries, they deserve to be safe. Going to a movie theater, they deserve to be safe in their school when they're 6 years old or 16 or 26. They deserve to be safe in their workplace, at a shopping mall, at a restaurant, and at a healthcare clinic. This is our job, to keep our people safe. We know the threats that face us abroad, and we have threats at home. So we need to do both. We need to protect our people abroad, from threats abroad and from threats at home. And the very best way to honor the victims of gun violence is to take sensible steps that are supported by the American people, like universal background checks, keeping assault weapons in the hands of our military and our police, safety features on guns, keeping guns out of the hands of people who are unbalanced, unstable, criminals. And then we can prevent these tragedies. Will we prevent every tragedy? No. I know my friends will say, well, someone could have a knife. Yes. It's a lot easier to get away from a knife than an automatic weapon that mows you down before you can even look up and figure out what's happening. So I'm crying out today for support for sensible gun laws.
I know you mean well, but what you say is problematic.
And
How
regardless
can you
of motive,
say that when
regardless
a
of
Democratic
motive,
California state senator,
we need to make sure
was nailed for corruption
military
and gun running?
weapons
You have people in your
belong in the
own
hands
party
of the
doesn't believe
military
that
and
that
the
is a
police. It's
fact,
pretty
and
straightforward.
everybody knows it. Now,
Our
look,
people are not
guys,
safe.
we
I don't
all want
care what
something
state you
done,
look at.
no
I don't care
question
what
about
city
it.
you look at. I don't
However,
care what town you
finger-pointing
look at.
and
Sanford,
accusations are not
people
the answer.
deserve to feel
Now,
safe in our
I know
communities.
this country can sit down at the table
so I
with no mudslinging
send my
and
love,
get
my
something
prayers,
done. I know it
my
can,
solidarity
but
to the
partisan
community.
BS needs to stop and stop now, because it's only making the situation worse for everyone, and we all know it. And folks, this is Lance Bell speaking, and be careful, and remember, fear the root.